What's up, guys? This is CJ. Welcome to an all-new Marvelite podcast. This is episode what, guys? I'm not
50.
even joking.
This is 50. This is a huge episode.
50! It's a huge episode. I should have known. I apologize. I wasn't even doing the bit that time. Like, I do that bit a lot whenever I host anywhere, but I was not even doing a bit that time. I am joined with our usual suspects. That is the Marvel Luke.
Yo, what up, guys?
And Will the Baddest.
What up, Doe?
What up, Doe? And we also have our other usual suspect, Nick.
Yeah, the guy that's on like every podcast for some reason. But I don't know.
Except for Flicks and Chill. What happened to Flicks and Chill?
You made a choice.
Is Flicks and Chill dead?
I think so.
R.I.P. Flicks and Chill.
Flicks and Chill.
Guys, got to make that scratch real quick. Do you mind if I go ahead and do this like really fast, like for 10 to 12 seconds?
Yeah.
Kill it,
All right,
broski.
let's kill it. Today's show is brought to you by LootCrate.com. You can save 10% on any new subscription at www.trylootcrate.com/hybrid network. That's right. We so fancy. We got our own little URL at the end there. And once you're there, enter the promo code BRIDGE10. BRIDGE10, and you'll automatically get that 10% savings on any new subscription from Loot Crate. That applies if you just want to try it out for a month-to-month basis, 3 months, 6 months, or even the whole damn year. Great offer there for you, just for you guys, our subscribers. So go to our link and get yourself a lot of cool stuff for a little bit of money. So how was that, guys? Do you think, if you had to grade my performance on a scale,
Will did it.
Will, how was it?
It was fair.
Compare me to Will. Like, give me a scouting.
I like
report
Will.
here. You like? Oh,
Damn. Straight up.
I knew that was.
Straight up.
It's okay. I like Will too.
Yeah, Will seems like a cool
good to
guy
be
you want to hang out with, and
I know,
Get
which
cookout.
makes me
I am
sad.
a cool guy you wanna hang out
Willem,
with.
it is very saddening to me that you won't be at NYCC with us this year.
Yeah.
I know, it's extremely disheartening.
It breaks
I gotta,
my heart muscles.
But hey, I think that we're all going to
gotta
shoot
make
for
these
San
grades,
Diego.
son. Gotta hustle in these books.
We will be. So for those of you that don't know, we will have a huge presence at NYCC. And by huge presence, I mean there are going to be like 6 of us there. We're very excited about it, though. We'll be walking around in Hybrid Network shirts at least for like one day. You'll probably be able to spot us, hopefully.
no, you won't. They don't know what we look like.
They don't know what we look like. Well, they know what I look like. They know what Michael looks like.
Oh, Yellow Lantern Lurk.
And they know what Yellow Lantern Lurk looks like, which is basically like a weird combination of Kriparian and Charlie Cox from Daredevil.
A couple people know what I look like, but that's
Remember
because
a few.
some of them.
You remember that
Close
time,
to-
Will,
close family and friends.
that commenter in that one video thought you were Rob from Comics Explained?
You are.
Yes. What do you mean? I am Rod.
We're advertising. We should add
What's
to
up,
that
everybody?
featuring
Rob from
Rob
Comics
from
Explained
Comics Explained.
Oh my
Not
god.
Rob from Hybrid
Dude, I hate that
Network.
guy though from Comics Explained.
Roll.
Oh, let's not throw any fire here. Let's
No,
try and escape
no
one
slander
week.
in these parts.
Yeah, please, let's just
I
escape
hate that
it.
weekly poll people. Whatever.
Oh god, Nick, no!
It's just
I love
Nick's
the
voice
weekly poll,
and does not reflect
especially
the
that
opinions of all
guy
members of the
Joel.
Hybrid Network.
There you go. We plead the fifth.
Yeah, I
The
love
opinions
Joel.
expressed by our
Joel's a
podcast
cool
guests are not representative of the views of the Hybrid Network as a whole.
There you go.
So, oh my god, guys, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh my God, Luke, wanting to dive right into this. I'm trying to have a conversation here
Oh, I'm sorry.
with the 4 of us. But okay,
Hey,
guys,
man, dive
can
in.
we?
Dicks first. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, guys, but so now that we've established that everyone is good and we're going to be at NYCC, oh my God, guys, did you see Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. last night?
Yes. Asians
By
of
last
S.H.I.E.L.D.?
night,
Boy, howdy do.
I mean Tuesday.
I did. Yeah, there's like so much to talk about. I mean, we have this like new mysterious director. So like I guess Coulson's just completely booted out now. We have the introduction of life model decoys, which is pretty interesting. And also we got our first appearance of the Ghost Rider. Oh, and also what was up with that weird ethereal ghost woman that was in the box? What?
I guess that'll be a plot point for the season.
Probably.
What? They first episode, end of season 4, they just jumped right into the supernatural.
Oh yeah, they definitely they aren't pulling any punches. Ghost Rider was kind of only the first salvo. There were a lot of things you could notice at that 10 o'clock slot. A little bit more blood. The addition of the supernatural, I guess, is kind of a side effect there, but it's really interesting.
The episode started out with booty cheeks and blood. I was like, okay, that's
hell yeah. But I mean,
the first 15 seconds.
Yeah, Like I was gonna say, like, what did you guys think about the newer tone? Did you think they really kind of really established a newer tone well, or did it just feel like more of the same deal?
I feel like this season's going to be much different from previous seasons.
Yeah.
Like they had that whole Inhuman arc, and now I feel like season 4 is just going to delve heavily into the supernatural.
Hopefully. I mean, it's kind of, speaking of that, I don't think we're going to talk about this episode. Gabriel Luna did talk a little bit about that, and kind of the thing where he teased maybe Mephisto is coming, and he did mention in the episode that his character is got the devil inside him, or they referenced selling his soul to the devil or something like that.
Yeah, and I was going to mention too, there's that episode 2 promo that is out now, and he talks about how he sold his soul to the devil. Yeah. So what
it would seem to go in that direction.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that this is the spirit of vengeance.
Basically.
I know we've talked about this for the past couple of episodes, so it's not the Russian mobster ghost that inhabits the car. It's the actual.
I thought it was
it's the
uncle.
actual. So it's Zarathos then, right?
Potentially, we don't know for sure. I mean, I've always said
they haven't explained the spirit yet.
Yeah, I don't think I've been on a Marvelite since we really started ramping up about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff. But in the HNNs, at least, I've been saying for a while, I think they're kind of gonna bootleg and more or less adapt some of Johnny Blaze's origin into Robbie Reyes, because the whole thing with Robbie is we had already seen 2 Spirits of Vengeance. We'd seen Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch and Alejandra as well. So 3. They kind of wanted to set Robbie apart, so they kind of made him a different thing.
Well, they're not really setting him apart though if he's going to be a part of that canon.
Well, no. I was saying in the comics that was the whole goal, was setting him apart.
So
in this universe, in the MCU, we don't have Johnny Blaze yet, so there's no need to set him apart. It's kind of
but here's the thing though: do they have plans in the future for other Ghost Riders? And if they do, there's only one. It's like I mentioned in the last episode. There's only one Spirit of Vengeance Ghost Rider. There are other Ghost Riders. They are a Ghost Rider, but they're not the Ghost Rider. They are not. Yeah. They are not the Spirit of Vengeance that possesses whoever has it, which would be
clear when I was saying earlier.
No, and I don't know if it's going to be clear at all in this season. So I have so many questions. Again, I thought I was going to come out with more answers, but now I have more questions,
which is good.
Because I don't. So I'm left to assume he's the Spirit of Vengeance. So they're pulling heavily from Johnny Blaze's origin, but. Does that involve Mephisto, Zarathos? Also, too, is there more than one Ghost Rider in this universe? Has there been Ghost Riders in the past? There's so many questions. I just don't know how they're going to be able to explain all of this. And also, too, does Johnny Blaze or Danny Ketch exist simultaneously?
Well, see, that's the big question, because if they are going to do the Spirit of Vengeances, like the Spirits of Vengeances, like they did in the comics, then Johnny Blaze or Danny Ketch can't exist, because there's only one, like you said. And since they seem to be setting that up, there's sort of some room open for maybe a potential Netflix series unconnected to the others, where Johnny Blaze existed maybe 30 or 40 years ago. But it doesn't look like there's room for him to exist simultaneously. At least right now. They could change it, but...
So I guess they could pull that off. Like if they wanted to do a Netflix or even a Hulu show and tell a story of Johnny in the 70s maybe, or something like that, and then the mantle kind of gets passed down to Robbie, and he would be that second or even third incarnation.
Yeah. So Nick, what did you think of Ghost Rider, seeing him in action?
I didn't watch it, so...
Oh, well. It's okay.
I watched the clip on YouTube. The little
one of him changing. I will say about that, the CG. So from the first image, I was a little concerned about the CG because I was like, well, the skull looks bigger than his head, and it was like the skull doesn't look great. The fire looks good, but seeing it in action, the skull looked pretty good.
Yeah,
like it was stylized to look more like the helmet, but it actually did not look as bad as I was worried it was going to look in action.
Yeah, and I don't know what those people last week in the comments were saying about, no, like, look at this angle, it's totally a mask and not not his skull. And I'm like, well, his face literally burnt off into a skull, so...
It's the skull.
Yeah, it's definitely a skull.
Is so bad, though.
I don't think...
Honestly, it looked kind of better than the movies did.
The only part...
I mean, well, granted, the movies are, like, now, like, almost 10 years old.
Dude, that movie is awesome, though, the first one.
Nick Cage, he is the spirit of vengeance.
Sure.
He is. There is no other spirit of vengeance.
Yeah, I didn't like how... Also, I don't like how the second Ghost Rider movie at least got the whole shard thing, too. This one, like, it looks too clean or something.
Maybe they'll add that as time goes on. But...
Well, did you see, like those weird patterns and designs on the skull?
Yeah.
That any of you notice that? Like, that has to have some kind of meaning behind it.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see if that actually gets explored, though, because there are a lot of things in shows like this that have meaning behind it, or they're written to have meaning behind it, but they just don't have the time to really delve into it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's important, and they need to definitely explain a lot, and I'm hoping that next episode, Robbie can really tell us how he got these powers, and what exactly happened, and... If he is the actual spirit of vengeance, and are there more Ghost Riders, or have there been more in the past? That's what I'm most interested in knowing.
So
and
I was going to say, go ahead.
No, I was done.
Who's going right now?
I was going to say, So looking forward to the next episode, the biggest question that still remains is, who is the new director? A lot of people think that'll be revealed next episode. Let's start with Will on this one. Will, who do you think the director actually is, or have you thought about that at all?
Probably some asshole.
Asshole.
I have no idea.
We know
that. Maybe it's Ross
from Friends, or like Everett.
No,
actually, you know what? I'm actually thinking it's probably Talbot.
That's a good.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
That'd be interesting.
He's still alive, isn't
that would
he?
be a nice in-universe reveal. Nick, any thoughts? Any conspiracy theories?
Dude, I don't watch the show. I have like a season and a half to catch up on before I can even start talking to you guys about my theory.
So I
skipped through so many chunks of season 3.
So you guys seem to really be, fixating on the idea that it might be someone that we've seen before. I must have. Did I miss a hint there last episode about that this new director is someone that we've seen, or? Did I miss something there? Because I was thinking it might be someone completely new.
Yeah, that's honestly what I'm thinking. I don't know what those people were saying. Like, oh, it's probably Captain America.
No, I don't think it'll be Captain America.
No,
I think my
it's Jim Hammond.
Josh had that theory that it was going to be the android of Dr. Phineas, the original Human Torch.
Which I think would be really great, and especially since life model decoys are going to be featured heavily in this season. So
he could be maybe like the inspiration for that technology, or kind of like the precursor for that technology, and tied in that way. Where he's actually this original android. But
I'm just saying, like, if they're going to go down the supernatural route, they should go all in, especially with the up and coming Doctor Strange film.
I agree.
Just go all freaking in. I mean, we got the Ghost Rider. We got this weird ethereal ghost woman, like haunting people and making people's faces like
the spirit rider.
Yeah, like it's so weird. So I feel like, you know what? Just screw it at this point. Give me freaking Fin Fang Foom.
Honestly, win.
Yes,
but no. So, moving on to our next topic here. Speaking of potential, maybe if we were talking about a little bit earlier, the maybe potential Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider Netflix series, John Bernthal is actually going to be at NYCC. We're very excited to see him there, working on hopefully getting an interview, but whether or not that pans out, it'll be great to see him. And they've said that he's only going to appear at NYCC on Saturday and Sunday. And their official reasoning for this is due to his Netflix filming schedule. So that means that he's one of these roles where he's playing the Punisher. One of these projects that he's working on where he is the Punisher is drawing him away already. Now, this is surprising because, as of right now, the only Netflix projects that we know for sure that we have confirmed are filming right now is Iron Fist, and that's it. That's the end of list.
Yeah.
So either Defenders is starting filming soon, or maybe even potentially the Punisher solo series is going to start filming in October.
Yeah, remember we did a news flash about that? Like it was going to come out next year, maybe, and then.
Yeah, potentially. There are going to be a lot coming out next year, and we'll talk about that in a second. When we get to the Jessica Jones details, but
especially since they've already started casting for the Punisher.
Yeah, they're working.
So there are names that keep popping up. So what if here very soon, potentially even by the end of this month, they could officially start filming? That's my guess, actually, is that since, he's cut his days down at New York Comic Con and he has to go film, I don't think that it's for the Defenders. I honestly think it's for his own spin-off.
Well, what'll be interesting to see here is he's appearing on Saturday. The cast of Iron Fist is also appearing on Saturday for the very first time.
Dude, Saturday's going to be so hype.
Saturday's going to be lit. NYCC Saturday, we're going to have all the updates both live on our Twitter feed.
Yeah, we got Power Rangers, all that, whatever.
Power Rangers and all that. There's a ton going on.
Coming back.
I was going to say, I kind of leave. So you think it's the Punisher, Luke? You think he's filming the Punisher?
Yeah, I think it's the solo Punisher, too, actually.
Oh,
Nick
yeah,
thinks
absolutely.
It's solo Punisher. I'm going the other direction with it. I think it's most definitely the Defenders. Like, I would say 90% certain.
But do we have an official start date for the production of that series?
Well, no, but here's the thing.
Defenders, I thought is filming
is
next year.
After Iron Fist, Defenders is next.
See, I'm sure that they're probably getting really close to finishing up Iron Fist right now.
They are. They've got to be very, very close to finishing up. Because we haven't seen set photos in a long time. Odds are they've started doing things indoors and on sound stages. The Defenders is next, and so kind of what that actually ties into the next topic. If we actually want to just jump to that real quick, you guys?
Wait, what?
So basically, we got our first details on Jessica Jones season 2 today. Speaking of,
I thought we were going to talk about Punisher on Shield.
Defenders. We'll tie it in. Let's combine this. One of the things in that Jessica Jones season 2 details thing, the showrunner for that dropped that basically Jessica Jones probably isn't going to come out until late 2017 at the earliest, and that Iron Fist and the Defenders are kind of the next things up. So that's kind of what I'm pointing to when I say the Defenders is probably going to be next. So if Punisher is filming right now, that either means that he's filming his solo series or he's going to appear in the Defenders, which itself hasn't been previously confirmed. But you bring up an interesting thought here. Could he be making a S.H.I.E.L.D. cameo? Now, I have zero idea what you guys are talking about here. So if one of you wants to explain that to me and to the viewers.
Yeah, so basically at the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. premiere, Jerry Conway was there, and also the creator of Robbie Reyes. So Jerry Conway created Punisher in the comics.
Wow.
Yep.
And he was there, and Jeff Loeb introduced him to the whole crowd and said, "You'll understand why I brought these people out later on in the season."
Wow.
Yep.
I was
really?
like, what?
Yep.
That's crazy.
So since they do film Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Almost like bi-weekly. I think right now they're only on like episode 7 or 8, like they're filming. Yeah. It is a possibility that John Bernthal may have to leave New York to go actually film for maybe an episode of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's very
or something
possible.
like that. So
That's
it
really
may not be for...
The tone makes it possible.
Yeah, it may not be for his solo spinoff or for the Defenders. It could actually be for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And they are definitely filming Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now. We know that for sure. They started Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really, really late. Like, I think they only started filming like last month.
Yeah. So they're not very far in. They're less than 10 episodes in.
So that's really interesting. So. A cameo on S.H.I.E.L.D. In fact, I think that's probably a pretty likely thing, and that'd be a really interesting way to connect the two universes that have.
We should have done a newsflash about that.
Oh my God! What if base Jeff Loeb does a version of Marvel Knights on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Dude, I talked to Jeff Loeb.
What if he assembles? What if he assembles the Dark Defenders?
No, the Midnight Riders, dude.
Exactly, the Midnight Suns. Oh my God! I'm getting. I can only get so hyped, guys.
But why would he bring out the creator of Punisher though and say? What?
Well, I mean, it seems to hint at something.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Oh, I'm getting dude, my hype is too real right now.
Hashtag Punisher gets Luke.
But so what's going on with Jessica Jones though? Is that
too excited for the ghost?
With Jessica Jones, the other thing is we, of course, just a couple of minutes ago mentioned that creator, the showrunner of Jessica Jones, had done an interview with Esquire, and she dropped a couple of details about season 2, which actually happened to be the very first details we've gotten about that. Really interesting production timeline for Jessica Jones. I mean, it dropped last November, right? It dropped last November.
Yeah.
Then literally just 2 months after that, way back in January of this year, it was greenlit for season 2, and then we've gotten nothing, for 8 months. 8 solid months, nothing about Jessica Jones season 2, and then all of a sudden it drops that, this interview kind of just drops talking about it, and so along with the fact that it's not going to come until late 2017 at the earliest, she also revealed some details about kind of where Jessica's at, and who's going to be having a much bigger spotlight and stuff like that. So one thing that was almost kind of sneakily confirmed was that Luke Cage is actually not going to have a huge role in this season, if any, because he's uptown in Harlem, he's doing his own thing. And they kind of mentioned that one character that's going to see an increased role is Trish Walker, because that was a relationship people really seemed to vibe with in the first season. There was an interesting story she related about how Kristen Ritter in her audition actually thought, before they knew who the characters really were, Kristen Ritter thought that the Trish Walker character and Jessica Jones had been lovers because of the intimacy going on in those scenes. So it was really just an interesting thing. But so Trish Walker gets an increased role, and less Luke Cage, potentially no Luke Cage. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, she got to be Hellcat.
She got to be. That's what I'm saying. And she got to be Hellcat.
Yeah, I want to see her. I want to see that actress Rachel Taylor in some tight spandex and that. Ooh. Yeah.
You know the one thing.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready for Fire Pussy.
Marvelite canceled for sex. No. No.
We already ran into that a few weeks ago with the whole Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. controversy.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
There was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. controversy?
Yeah, remember people called me out for making that a thing?
I thought I made that a thing. Wait, which one of us made that a thing?
It was a while ago.
It is irrelevant now. What I was going to talk about.
Hashtag cancel Marvelite. No. Luke, what do you think about that? Less Luke Cage, more Trish Walker.
I mean, it makes sense that Luke Cage isn't going to be a big player in this season. Like you said, he's going to be doing his own thing, and who knows what's going to happen in the upcoming series of Luke Cage. I mean, he could have to dip out of New York altogether. We don't know. But it's interesting that Trish Walker is going to be in it, though. I'm really excited for that. She's going to get more of a role, probably more to do. I hope that she does actually become Hellcat, because they were kind of setting up her origin and her power base in the show. So, in season 1. So, I mean, it's really exciting. Now, are we going to see her suit up in some version of the Hellcat suit? That would be really cool. I don't know if they're going to do that, because the one thing that kind of let me down in season 1 was not seeing Jessica Jones as Jewel. Even if it would have been in a 30-second flashback of her trying to be a superhero for a day, I would have been a lot more pleased with what we actually got, which we just saw her kind of holding up her outfit and saying no, gross.
Well, now, here's an interesting possibility here, and I think there's a way to tie that in and potentially kind of maybe shoehorn it in, backdoor it in. So if we see Trish Walker, maybe Trish after the first season and after what happened with not Nuke, maybe she decides to start fighting crime on her own because Jessica's kind of retreated from the world while she's trying to put her life back together. And so Trish goes off, but Trish, of course, probably has a costume and stuff like that. And maybe that's reminiscent of the Hellcat costume. And through that and an interaction with Jessica, we might get maybe the Jewel costume and Jessica wearing the Jewel costume, maybe only once, and seeing what happens. I think that would potentially be a really good way to do it.
They try it for a night.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. So one of the other things that was discussed in Jessica Jones Season 2 for that interview is that Jessica basically, it's maybe a no-brainer, but it's like if you're expecting Jessica to just go back to being hunky-dory with life, which anybody that's ever really read Jessica Jones knows is out of character. They stress the fact that she is not going to be healed mentally, emotionally. She's still struggling with this trauma, and she's been struggling with trauma all of her life. Basically, it's a big part of the character, and so it's definitely still going to continue to be a thing. Kilgrave will have an influence, even though he is in the grave. So definitely going to be interesting to see that there. What do you guys think about that? I mean, that sounds right to me, right? I mean,
no.
We should be fine.
Dude, Jessica Jones comics are bad because Bendis weak.
Bendis. Well, we're disregarding your hate for Bendis.
Before anything else, fuck Civil War 2.
Yeah, I was gonna plug that in. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Single-handedly making Captain Marvel extremely unlikable. But
see, this is where like
great
Nick
way to fuck up your own character that people like.
Just on like a
just
like on a 15-second tangent. This is where Nick is completely right. Like Civil War in the comics just like isn't good. It's not a good.
No.
It's not a good thing.
It shits
because
on every character.
Yeah, it shits on every character, and it makes almost every character out to be like an asshole. Like,
dude, you're talking about Civil War 2 issue 5 spoilers with the Captain America and...
I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't know what Bendis is doing at this point. We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, back on topic.
It's certainly not his best.
Certainly not his best. So final thing for Jessica Jones Season 2. When do you guys expect that we might see that? Rapid fire. Let's start with
2018.
Nick.
2018.
When do you think we might see it? 2018? Early 2018?
Yeah, probably.
Will Eager Beaver, when do you think we might see that?
Spring of 2018.
When of 2018?
Spring.
All right.
Yeah.
And Lukel.
I'm for spring 2018 as well.
Spring 2018. I'm going to say November 2017, actually. I'm
wow.
Earlier.
Okay.
They've been in production for so
Defenders
long.
now.
I think it's got to be next.
Yeah.
And plus, even more than Daredevil, that's their most critically acclaimed show. But that brings us to the end of that segment and brings us to another little scratch-making opportunity. So, here we go. For you guys, the listeners of the Marvelite podcast, Loot Crate is offering a very, very special exclusive opportunity to save 10%. Again, save 10%. That's 1/10 of 100% on any new subscription at lootcrate.com. And for that, you just have to enter the promo code BRIDGE10 for a 10% savings. I mean, I might be the only person that's actually gotten Loot Crate here. Have any of you guys gotten Loot Crate?
Yeah, I think we all have, actually.
I used to have it.
Once or two. I really enjoyed it. I canceled it economically because it wasn't feasible for me at the time. This 10% might make it more feasible for some of you guys. I really loved it. I think the contents of the box definitely worth more than the monthly subscription. Like I was talking about on the H&N today, this past month's theme was speed, and so there were really cool things. There was a Stark Industries motor racing shirt from like Iron Man 2 from that scene at Monaco.
That was such a cool shirt. I was out getting some drinks last night actually, and someone was wearing that shirt, and I'm like, I've never seen that shirt before.
No, it's exclusive.
You're like, yo, you
it's
nerd.
An exclusive T-shirt. And
just got in my new box.
That's one of those things. You consider the price of a shirt, that's 90% of the price of the subscription anyways. Even if you're going month to month and not saving a little bit extra by doing a longer term. The other thing that really caught my eye was they had a flash hood ornament for your car. Yes. I was like, yo, I would be dorky and put that on my car for sure. I know a lot of people out there might do the same. And there were a lot of other cool stuff in the box too, so it's definitely worth a lot more than the subscription price. And we can make it even cheaper for you. So to save 10% on any new subscription, just go to trylootcrate.com/hybridnetwork. Again, that's trylootcrate.com/hybridnetwork, and you'll instantly save 10% on any new subscription. Month to month, 3 months, 6 months, a year. Just enter promo code BRIDGE10 for 10% savings. So now that we're done with that, okay, let's move on to our next topic. This one specifically really interesting. So Spider-Man Homecoming is filming. They were caught filming a helicopter scene to get the swinging action for the film. And interestingly enough, stunt doubles all around. Stunt double in the Spider-Man suit. There was also a stunt double looking dressed up in a red wig.
Who's in there?
No.
But
You
more
don't
importantly,
say.
she had 3 different outfits on.
So, well, I think it
Oh
was
my
different. Well, it was
goodness.
maybe the same stunt double with 3 different outfits, suggesting it might be a larger set piece in which Spider-Man has to save people. But
He
the red
conveniently
wig,
saves 3 redheads and just like, dang,
well, the
something
red
about that.
the red hair wasn't as prominent in the other couple of outfits, but I think everyone saw the red hair, instantly jumped to a conclusion, said that might be MJ. Now, some people were saying, could this be Zendaya's character towards the end of the movie, and it's just her stunt double? Could it be another actress that's playing Mary Jane Watson, and El Mayimbe was wrong? Different takes from different people, as is a set photo of 2 stunt doubles swinging from a helicopter taken from probably about a mile away should warrant nothing definitive. So I just kind of want to go person by person here and get their opinion on what we saw and their
Dude,
theory.
Oh my god.
Nick, what do you think? What's
Dude,
your theory here?
How bad is it El Mayimbe is wrong about the MJ?
Well, seeing as he put it so, like, he was really confident about that, and that was
What
published.
did he say exactly?
He said he'll bet $5,000 if he's wrong.
Well, I don't know
About
if he said
what?
exactly that, but he
Ooh.
said he ran that story through the Wrap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means the Wrap's editorial chain, and the Wrap is one of the few major reputable Hollywood trades that report on movies and everything like that. So they have a clearly defined editorial chain that Mayimbe had to convince of this before he was able to run with it. So he convinced them of this. So not only does this look bad for Mayimbe, this looks bad for the Wrap if he's wrong.
Well, he had to ask Marvel to run the story.
Exactly. So, and it's really interesting they might have said yes. So that's really interesting. I don't know what to think about it. So you think he might be wrong, Nick?
I didn't say that.
Well, so what do you think? What do you think?
I just said it. I just said how bad would it look if he was wrong.
It would look real bad. Real.
I
bad.
don't know. We should newsflash this. This is another newsflash right here. Helicopter scene,
this is a
red
newsflash
hair
opportunity.
character.
Well, that news is like a day old because I remember I found it on Instagram when I was scrolling through. I'm just like,
Yeah, that's a Will scoop right there on Instagram.
Will Scoop.
what? That's where I get my scoops from. Is from Instagram.
Dude, like that trailer sheet.
Yeah.
El Williambe.
Dude,
Will
Will
Yimbe.
scoops are already more like even than Mayimba.
Hashtag SKWS.
That is true because I can usually find them and they usually can either get confirmed or debunked within 15 minutes.
Here's a tip: just don't say anything either way. But so Luke, what do you think this is? What do you think this means?
What do I think this means? I mean, it could mean a couple different things. It could be generic white girl,
Could be.
with red
True.
hair, or it could be Mary Jane Watson. It could be stunt double for Zendaya's character. I still am not convinced that she's playing Mary Jane Watson. I'm just not. I am 100% convinced that she is playing Michelle Gonzalez. I am. I don't know what the problem with that is. Everyone seems to think that there is, though. I wouldn't have a problem if she's playing Mary Jane, but I don't think from early on from like the old script leaks and these plot info and details and all of this about the film, Mary Jane in all of them from different sources came at the very end of the movie. Like she appears at like the last 5 freaking minutes, and I'm not saying that any of those are all or any of them are true. You have to take all of them with a grain of salt. But these are different people with different sources saying the same thing about Mary Jane. And then you have a couple people like Mayimba come out and say something different. I'm not saying he's wrong either. I'm just saying like there's too much going on. I don't know. You know, honestly, like we're literally just gonna have to wait and see. I mean, like it could have been that when the director said that Zendaya is playing Michelle, it could have been a false flag. I don't think that it is, though. I think that those characters are playing who he said they're going to be playing.
Calm
you know,
down there, Alex Jones.
I cannot believe
Armin
you just
said his
compared me to
sources
Alex
said-
Jones. How dare you?
Luke's a patriot. He's a patriot.
Break
the conditioning now.
We're all under attack. Anyways. I'm sorry.
This is taking a strange turn. Nick, you were saying something about Armin sources?
Dude, Armin sourced it. He said that she's MJ or something. I'm like, oh.
I mean, so... Go ahead, Will.
I'm kind of... My bad.
No, you're good.
I'm just kind of innocent. When I first saw it, I'm like, well, that is potential, because if you have two eyeballs in your face, you can tell that Zendaya is light-skinned. So, it could very well be a stunt double for her, or it could just not be. And they could... Honestly, it'd be pretty funny if John Watts was just fucking with people, and having that be in a scene in the movie where Spider-Man conveniently saves redheads. And he's like, huh, what a strange string of coincidences. Oh, yeah, well. Yeah. So I'm kind of with the similar boat as Luke. Like, I wouldn't have a problem with her as MJ, but it is what it is. I don't really care. I just thought it was funny when it dropped. I'm like, oh, shit, he might be right. Or he could be dead-ass wrong.
I mean, you remember how early on when Kevin Feige said that if Peter was going to have a love interest, it would be... It wouldn't be like a first-rate love interest at all.
Yeah.
You know, he said that it would be on the back burner at best when it came to the plot.
So here's a couple of different things. I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now out in front. I believe Mayimbe. It's not like I believe him more as so much as it's I believe the rap. I don't think the rap would run this if they weren't convinced. I think she is playing MJ. And there are a couple of things that point to this. And Luke, you brought up one big reason. So the initial report for Zendaya's casting was that during the casting, her character name on the call sheet was Michelle. Like during the casting process, and we know those names get changed a lot. But her character's name for that process was Michelle.
Yeah,
they did say she's being set up, potentially a love interest, but she is being set up for future movies down the road. I think she'll be revealed in this movie to be MJ, but she will not be his love interest in this movie. It'll be revealed, but it's not going to be... And I think we'll see her character grow into the MJ that we know over the course of several films. Kind of like, Tom Holland is going to have to grow into being, Spider-Man, not just being Spider-Boy.
Dude, why do we have to get Spider-Boy for, years?
Spider-Boy. Well, that's honestly, I think that's where the best... Spider-Man stories start is in high school.
I would agree.
I'd say it's only because it's the easiest way to introduce him. It'd be harder to do his origin with him as like a grown ass man. They're like, where the fuck has this dude been for the past 10 years?
Well, they're making. I feel like they're making a perfect amalgamation for the cinematic version of Spider-Man. They are doing a very young. And almost, I would say, immature or ignorant at times of the ultimate Peter Parker, but they are doing a classic 616 Spidey.
Okay. But I didn't want that Spider-Boy. I wanted a 30-year-old veteran Spider-Man.
I wanted that too, but there's no way to fluidly kind of put him in the MCU, because then everyone would immediately be like, okay, well, where has his ass been?
Just pull a BVS Batman and just say, yeah, he's been 20 years in New York, whatever.
Listen, man, Marvel movies have problems, but we're not script broken entirely.
Dude, all they had to do was just say, yeah, he's 20 years in New York. How many good guys are left, or whatever?
How many good spiders are left?
Yeah, but the question would be like, okay, so you've been around for 10 years. Why is the crime rate in New York still so high? Then we got bulletproof black man, this blind guy, and this super strong chick hanging out in her office.
Well, Will, it's pretty simple. Spidey doesn't stop and frisk. That's the key. That's the problem right there. No.
Dude, I don't like this Tom Holland Spider-Man, though. I just don't like this kid.
Well, you don't like his voice. That's one thing.
I don't like anything about him.
I like him.
I want a reboot.
Reboot MCU.
Who would you recast?
I want to reboot the boot.
Nick?
Yeah,
who would you recast him as, Nick? Oh, you want them to do a Terrence Howard with Tom Holland?
Terrence Howard.
Both THs.
Yeah, can Sony just do TASM 3?
No.
Coming
Don't
from
even
a fan
joke
of
about
Tassim,
that.
I'm glad that series is
All
done.
right, guys. All right, moving on, and I'm gonna do a transition that would make Will proud right here for this last one.
Okay.
Are you ready?
All right.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
So we talked a lot about Zendaya. Zendaya is black, despite the fact that Will insists that she is light-skinned, which
she's
she
still
is.
black just because she's light.
She's still black. She is black. You know who else is black? Black Panther. And speaking of Black Panther, we've got some new information about his solo movie. Specifically, Chadwick Boseman dropped potentially a huge bomb when speaking to Yahoo UK about his role in Civil War and the movie. And I'm just going to read this quote right here. There is definitely more of his origin in Black Panther. You're going to learn about Wakanda, its culture, its traditions, the past. You can go through all the comic books and know that there's more Panthers that have existed in the past. That's origin. Now, he kind of brought that up unprompted, and a lot of people have speculated on this, especially because Civil War, which, much to my surprise and delight, did not shy away from the afterlife and death not being the end in Wakandan culture, and I was really, really happy with that. So he seems to be implying that we might just see some past Panthers in this movie.
Necropolis.
Necropolis, please.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
Dude, this is another. Dude, this is the third newsflash that we've had on the show. That could...
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, I think that would mean that we would see Necropolis at that point. Honestly.
I agree. I mean, we kind of had. I mean, he might have just been talking about like in the comics and stuff like that, and maybe that'll be set up potentially. But this could be huge. I'd love to see it. Like me and Josh were freaking out in the theater during Civil War when he said, "In my culture, death is not the end." We were like, "Holy fucking shit!" We did not expect that at all.
Yeah,
dude, why did he give a monologue every scene he was in? He like stared off into nothingness and gave like some weird monologue about.
That's kind of what.
That's what
he's
enlightened.
He was the best
do.
character in that movie. That's why.
That's what kings fucking do. They just speak like everybody has to.
Dude, he was lame though.
What? Dude, he was awesome. Why was his scene with Black Widow cut out of the movie? Is my question.
But
Because that scene was
his
hilarious.
suit looks kind of cool, but whatever. That's another podcast.
No, go ahead, Nick.
Oh well.
That's
Go
for
ahead,
the Civil
Nick.
War
Speak your
commentary. I'll
piece.
get into it more.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, Will, what do you think about this? What do you think? Do you think Necropolis is actually going to show up, or?
There's two ways they could do that. They could do it by kind of starting the movie with the historical way that the
Kind of like what
does
Thor.
that I really like.
Yeah.
Where it goes through the past Panthers, or they could do Necropolis. I think one might work better from a storytelling perspective because I feel like it's going to show kind of the current Panthers past, but like the history of all the Panthers, then lead up to him like earning the mantle and kind of establishing who Killmonger is.
Here's a thought, though. Does Marvel have Necropolis? Because Necropolis was first introduced in a Fantastic Four comic book.
I mean, Black Panther was first introduced in a Fantastic Four book, and here he is.
That's so true.
I think it's a case where they might split it because with
Oh,
things that are kind of ambiguous like that, where it's relating
The
to the
fuck
character.
is Fox going to do with Necropolis?
Dude, that
Exactly.
means that we can get a Fox Black Panther. He's a
They don't
co-owner.
even have black people in the Fox universe.
Dude, I can't wait for the Fox version of Black Panther. It'll be much better.
Wait,
stop and think about
Will.
that.
Wait,
They
Will.
don't.
Wait, we had Darwin.
Yeah, the man who wasn't supposed to die. What happened to him?
He died.
Dude, Fox will actually
did.
take. Dude, Fox
Hands
will
up,
take
don't
Black
shoot with
Panther
energy.
serious.
That dude is dead.
The most power. What's his power? Oh, he can't die. What happened to him? Oh, he died. Bitch. How did they kill him? Oh, see, Kevin Bacon put a ball down his throat, and he just turned into ash.
Black super lives matter.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do better than that, buddy.
Oh
Damn
my
you.
god. So
All right, well-
like I just want to finish my thoughts real quick. So on the Black Panther film, yeah, I think that we're going to go through a lot of history and a lot of lore of Wakandan culture, and the Black Panther specifically. Another thing, we have Necropolis, right? So hopefully to be featured in the film, but my other big question is, where are they going to go with the power base exactly? Is he just some kind of Wakandan super soldier? Is that what they're going to do? Or are they going to draw their power like directly from Bast?
They got to do the heart-shaped herb and the spirituality aspect of it to be.
Yeah, I would kind of be appalled, honestly, if they didn't go honestly, again, Doctor Strange is coming out. Like, I would be really shocked if we didn't get characters like Bast and Vishanti and just like the entire pantheon of a lot of like the African and Egyptian deities. I would be really surprised if we didn't.
Yeah, but they can't do the part where he gets his. I don't think they can do the point where some of his power, like his past intelligence, comes from past Panthers, because that's connected to him being King of the Dead. But that would be bringing in Necropolis.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's the Wakandan City of the Dead, so
yeah, it's the Wakandan City of the Dead.
Is the. For those of you who don't know, Necropolis is the resting place of the previous kings and Black Panthers.
Yeah, and he got that when he died, kind of, and came back. That's how he got those powers.
Yep.
I mean, he's fought Mephisto, so...
Yep.
Speaking of that... Actually, not speaking of that at all.
Wait, can I finish my thoughts on Black Panther?
Nick, go ahead. Start.
Go ahead, Nick.
I just want to say, I really hope that this movie is, like, fully standalone. It has like nothing to do, like no advertising for future movies and just none of that stuff. Just like fully standalone.
Bucky's there, so good luck with that.
Oh no!
I don't want Bucky involved in this movie.
No, he's in an ice cube. Just leave him there.
Yeah, he's in an ice cube again. That's a rite of passage for becoming Captain America, apparently.
Yeah, leave Bucky in his cold, icy tomb. Leave him alone till Infinity War. I don't want. If they just have a stunt double sitting in the tomb, I'm like, all right, that's fine. I don't need him getting involved in the plot in any way.
Yeah, can this movie not be a big commercial for a sequel?
Yeah, I would love, because they got a great director, I would love for this to be a powerhouse standalone. I want this movie to be better than Iron Man.
Oh yeah, I have so much faith in this director. I have so much faith. I am so excited.
Coulter's a great director, great story.
I agree.
So I trust him, and I trust the cast.
Oh,
well, fellas,
they're basically recreating Creed in the MCU.
Yeah, they are. They got
Stallone,
Tessa Thompson, Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. It's happening, fam.
It would be funny to see Eric Killmonger become a
they got Lupita, too.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay, no. This is going to be a great movie. I think we have some viewer questions this week, don't we?
Yeah.
Will, that is your job.
Let's go through that. So, first question from Waterkrook is, ask Marvelite, do you guys want young Cyclops to stick around with Kamala and Miles to make their own Trinity comic if the Champions team doesn't work out?
A young Trinity?
Oh my god, that'd be like the saddest... Young Trinity. That'd be the saddest team ever of all the Legacy. Yeah, it'd be called Legacy. It'd be made up of Kamala, Miles, and Cyclops.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm sorry, Waterkrook.
Next question.
I mean,
I
think he's talking. Is he like young Trinity? Like he wants that to be like Marvel's younger, like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman style
I guess he's
Trinity
comparing
book?
it to be a 3-way team up book,
So
not like their actual Trinity of big hitters.
So here's the thing, Waru, I love you, and you couldn't have known this was going to happen because you wrote this comic literally like 5 days before the Trinity Rebirth comic came out, but especially after as good as that book was, fuck no. Based Francis Manapul.
I think they would need a different teammate. Get Kamala, Miles, and bring back Robbie Reyes.
Indeed.
That'd be a interesting team up at least. You could do some very intriguing stories with that.
Yep.
Because those are the three cool legacy heroes. No one cares about Sam Addison.
Next.
Start.
Alright. So next question from Justin Rodriguez. Ask Marvelite, if, fingers crossed, a deal is made with Fox, how would you prefer to see the F4 introduced? I think we've talked about this before.
That's a loaded question. We can't answer that. That's like an hour long discussion.
That's a whole Luke rant.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah.
So Luke can hear it better?
if fingers crossed a deal is made with Fox, how would you prefer to see the F4 introduced?
Yeah, we've talked about this.
We had 2
several
episodes
times.
about it.
I don't mean to be disrespectful. Thank you though for asking this question, but I really don't want to get my blood pressure up right now.
If we can go back and find the episode, we'll link it.
Yeah,
for you.
go watch episode. It's episode 44 and 45. Actually, we talked about Fantastic Four twice in 2 weeks. So
Okay,
I'll go really quick here with my thoughts. So Infinity Gauntlet has basically been now rumored because of the Latino Review's newest report. Infinity Gauntlet is apparently going to heavily influence the Infinity War storyline, to which I say good. But as y'all know, at the end of that, basically Thanos, in like less than a snap of his fingers, wipes out half the life in the Cineate universe, which in the comics includes Fantastic Four, a ton of the X-Men, and Daredevil. So that has to be undone after they beat Thanos, and they only beat Thanos because he's a dumbass. But when they beat Thanos, they have to undo that, and so they bring everybody back. And I was like, that's a pretty good way to potentially like introduce some things that weren't there, maybe. But
if a deal can be reached,
just to say we brought it back, but it's like I don't remember everything about the universe, but we'll see. But I don't know. It's a really kind of cheap way to do it, but
no, I don't think it's a cheap. It's the only way that they could do it. It's the only way that it would be the most plausible way, and they only have one shot at doing it, and they can't screw it up. So that's what I have to say about that.
Portal, a blue beam shot up in the sky, a portal opened, and 4 assholes fell out of it.
Dude, can they stop making movies about those Fantastic Four people? Nobody likes them, and they're just terrible. So.
Well, they haven't ever done a good movie. But.
They've gotten progressively worse.
Nick, me and you have had that conversation multiple times. Just me and you, about how we're probably never going to see what you and I want to see, like our version of the Fantastic Four on screen. Like we're never going to see Galactus done right or the Power Cosmic or anything like that. So it's seriously, a man can dream. Okay,
if they were going to do FF in the MCU, I think it would be best to go with a period piece route where they get stuck in some weird time zone and then they land here.
And that was the story we tell.
That's pretty much my idea. Like essentially, that's what it is. So,
anyways, on to the next one. Eric says, "Ask Marvelite, do you think any Ghost Rider villains will appear in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to fight Robbie?" Actually, now that I think about it, after I did a quick search, I know. This one might actually be the Spirit of Vengeance, but in his comics, his Uncle Eli is where he gets his powers from.
Yeah.
Who possesses his body, and we did see that spirit flying around in the first episode. So I don't know. That could be a thing. I have no idea. I don't know if Robbie really has any.
Well, his first big villain in that all new Ghost Rider run was someone that we've seen before on the show. Cookie to any of you that can get it.
What?
Mr. Hyde was the first villain
really
faced in his new run. It was basically in LA. Mr. Hyde was rigging, I think it was not Molly, I think he was rigging some kind of drug. He was making bad batches that essentially were turning people into Mr. Hyde type monsters.
That was almost some loose version of Mad Bomb.
Yeah, he was, and it was crazy. I mean, and basically that was the first arc, was him getting to know Eli Morrow. But that's he got his powers as that was happening. He got his powers actually because the car that he borrowed from the auto shop he was working in belonged to a gangster that had accidentally left some of the pink pills in his trunk, and Mr. Hyde's team more or less repoed the pills once they figured the car had been stolen.
Repo pills.
Mr. Hyde specifically had something to do with his death and rebirth into the Ghost Rider, but so it may be. I don't. But his character's calmed down a lot, and I don't know if we'll see him again because he's involved with the Twin Peaks relaunch now. So.
Oh really? Okay.
Kyle MacLachlan, yeah.
Neat El Burrito. Did Nick, you have any opinion on that?
What was the question? I don't.
Do you think any Ghost Rider villains are going to appear on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to fight Robbie?
I hope some from the movie, from the Nick Cage movies.
Yeah, dude, we could get
if they...
we get Mephisting's son.
Actually, I was going to say, if not Mephisto, they could definitely do Blackheart. I mean, look, we already had a Ghost Rider villain in season 1 of the show.
I'm sorry. Every time I think of Blackheart, I think of the villain from the second Care Bears movie, Darkheart, both of which have some of the dumbest names I've ever heard.
Yeah, but we got a Ghost Rider villain in season 1, and most people don't even know that. We got Blackout.
Oh.
Yeah, that is a Ghost Rider villain from that's canon.
Fun facts.
Yeah, I don't know exactly if that's going to tie in this season at all, because Blackout was Johnny Blaze villain, not a Robbie Reyes villain. I don't know. We'll have to see. But most people didn't know that he is a Ghost Rider villain. So
yeah, that'll be interesting to watch and see what happens. Any more viewer questions that we might be able to lightning round real quick, or?
Yeah, we can give it a shot. Do you think Vulture and Shocker being in the film this is notorious Mr. Grimm being in this film that maybe Marvel will try to do Sinister Six themselves?
No, I think Sinister Six is dead in the water.
I think that's in development at Sony, as far as I know. Yeah,
not till Spider-Man college freshman.
No, I think Drew Goddard is completely off the project now. It's pretty much dead.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about for MCU. That wouldn't be anything until like a fourth or fifth movie.
Because what could they have possibly done? Because you guys remember those script leaks that came like a year and a half ago, and it turned out to be true, and that movie would have been atrocious. That would have been garbage. It probably would have got like a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was just garbage.
Maybe less.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Do you think Cassie Lang will be Stinger in the MCU? I thought she was Stature. That's Jalen.
Cassie Lang.
Maybe.
Cassie
Lang.
Oh.
This kid. Not for a long ass time.
Yeah, she's like what, 5 or 6 maybe?
She ain't got no front teeth.
Yeah, she's an extremely young child in the universe, so I don't see that being a possibility.
Alrighty, well, so I'm sure we have some questions that we're leaving on the table. We'll make note of those. I promise we will get to them in the next episode. Unfortunately, our time is up for this episode of the Marvelite. We actually went a little overtime for y'all this episode. Oops. Lots to talk about, but thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smash that like if you like what you saw. Subscribe for more great content every single day, and especially if it's your first time visiting the channel. If this is your first video that you're watching from the Hybrid Network, thank you very much. If you're even still listening, odds are very slim. Signing off for Luke, Will, and Nick, I am CJ, and we'll see you next week.